Hello, fellow hitchhikers. This video, we're taking a look at NFTs, NFT marketplaces, and some of the use cases for NFTs. So we'll just start with the obvious one, OpenSea, sometimes called Broken Sea, but it doesn't deserve that name anymore. They've done a lot of improvements over the last couple of years. They had basically the monopoly on everything, them along with Rarible. Rarible is a common one for people that are starting to make their own NFT collections. NFTs are basically just digital images, but these digital images may or may not have utility. Then we have others that have popped up, like Blur is a recent addition. Now, Blur is only the Ethereum NFTs and also a subset. Like, they restrict which collections are available on their platform. I don't know why. I mean, I get that you want to keep the scam projects off, but they're scam projects that get onto Blur, and yet other projects that are old and dead are on there, and some that are new and up and coming with strong communities aren't on there. So I don't know why they have this gated environment when they're not gating very well. But what Blur did bring was lots of trading tools. You can actually see the depth of offers that are on various things. You can see the previous sales. You can see how deep the sales are. You can look at the bids. You can see the number of bids at different levels. So you can see, oh, hey, what's the floor? The floor is 3.28. There's a lot of bids at 3.23. So if I'm able to pick one up, or even if I picked one up at 3.26 or something that got listed and they didn't grab the bids, I could sell into the bids. So you see a lot more information, and you have a more variety of tools. It's a bit more of a trader's interface. I like it. I just wish they would bring, or that they would develop all this over at OpenSea or on LooksRare. So LooksRare is another more recent one. They took the approach of giving rewards. So as you buy and sell, you can earn Looks tokens, and then you can use that to have influence within the ecosystem, or you can sell it as for profits or whatnot. So different chains will have their own marketplaces, like Arbitrum. You can buy and sell on OpenSea on the Arbitrum items. So if things that are on Arbitrum, or if things are on Polygon, or if things are on Ethereum, OpenSea kind of covers the vast majority of those chains. But some chains like Arbitrum has their own treasure trove, as it's called, and they you can buy and sell, and they have some customized interfaces, because these projects, like the Beacon is one that I'm in. They'll have a little bit more information and a little bit more catering. I do find their marketplace a little bit confusing, but in parts it's probably because I don't spend enough time there. I think Magic Eden is Solana. So either way, when you are interacting with these marketplaces, make sure you're on the actual marketplace. So, go to the chain or the project's Discord or Twitter, know that you're on the valid one, and use those links, because some of the marketplaces out there are like scam ones, phishing ones. They look like a legitimate one, but then when you go to buy or sell, you approve a transaction, your wallet that's actually designed to take everything out of your wallet, not just the one thing. Same thing can happen in your hidden folder. For example, this is my wallet, looking at it from a different view. So I can't see anything, but I can see everything that's in my wallet, because it's a public address and it's blockchain. Everything's public. People can see what's going on. So you can follow other people's wallets. Hey, why is he getting all these assets? Now, these latest two things I actually earned as rewards. So I'm doing something on a game in Arbitrum, and as I do things, I can be qualified for rewards, and these things get dropped to me. I can't believe I got a legendary. This just happened just recently, but who sent it to me? It came from 2 days ago. It came to me here, but it's worth like $5, $6, $7. So, but if I go to this wallet from my own view, I can see a bit more information, and within there is a hidden folder. So this hidden folder is generally junk. Sometimes when you buy something, it'll go there, but it's nice that OpenSea tries to send it immediately to the spam or the hidden folder, because some of these things, mainly junk, will have offers on them, or here's an offer. Well, it's a nothing offer, but they'll have these offers, and you're like, oh, hey, I got this thing for free. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to sell it for this offer that's standing. And really what's happening is it's designed to steal from you. So don't interact with things that you get and you don't understand where it came from or why you got it, it's generally a scam. Every now and then, though, something that you did legitimately get will come into here and you're like, what? Oh no, it's gone. I've lost it or whatever. And it's like, no, it's just in the hidden folder. So be aware of that with the marketplaces. All right. What other things can you have within these NFTs? Like, how do you add some utility beyond just having a picture? So if I look at, here's just a random sample of NFTs that I have in my wallet. So this NFT here, a Joyride Wrench, I'm excited about this one. I just haven't had a chance to do it, but the Blobs project, they are making actual physical toys, and you can get different tops and different bottoms for these vehicles. And because of all that activity, I qualified for a wrench. You can also buy some of these wrenches. I can use this wrench to put two blobs together to make a vehicle. They'll then print it with a 3D printer and mail it to me. So this is one that this NFT has a utility of sending me an actual physical toy. Where if I look at something like this one here, these legendary seals, I have collected all 5. There's 5 types of them. I've collected all 5. By having all 5 in the future, I might earn some collecting badge or something. Okay, whatever. But individually, having these seals will qualify me for future airdrops or future things that become available within that game. These Tiki Tribe, I like them. They're collectible. There's some fishing games and things I can do with them. They also, just by owning them, generate Hula, a token that can be used to make pigs and fish and all this stuff that you need for living on this island. This NFT is kind of like a loot box. I get it and I can open them up and I get a bunch of things that I can use in the game, or I can just sell them. This is worth like $1. So these things here are purely just cosmetics that I can place inside my game as I play them. So the use cases can be a large variety of things. Of course, you've got ActuChat, where you can have it be for like an access to a gated community. So there's private meetings that happen, and by having this, I'm able to access and go online and chat with other people with similar interests. You see a variety of uses for NFTs and the utility that comes with them. They can be art. Like, that's not a utility in itself. Some of the controversy that's happening around these marketplaces is whether or not the artists can get their portion of fees. So people thought that at the beginning that it was built into the smart contract. So if you bought a piece of art on a marketplace, 5% or whatever was determined by the artist would be kicked back to the artist as a commission, so that if an artist made something, all future sales, the artist would get a continual flow of revenue, especially if they became very popular. It was a great way to honor original artists. Didn't really make sense for video game assets because that's the high volume of sales and the low cost of it. So anyways, marketplaces started turning off this commission that would go back to the artist, or making it optional. First off, people thought it was built into the smart contract, didn't realize you could toggle it on and off. So that's a poor design, and those might be changing. And then also, marketplaces may or may not have a fee for their own, like, use the marketplace, they get a 1% fee or something like that. So they've started being aggressive with each other, competing. So curious to see what's going to happen within the NFT marketplace. Some projects are starting to make their own marketplaces, so you can only buy or sell that art or whatever within that project's marketplace. There's good things that come from that. It's nice and control. It's centralized, but there's bad. It's concentralized, and you want to have things more open and not have 100 different marketplaces. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen with this. I think we will end up with another sort of monopoly kind of scenario at some point, either an aggregator that just looks at all the different marketplaces and you can pull from, kind of like what Blur does. It's a bit of an aggregator. When you look at what's for sale, it'll show you, oh, this one's on OpenSea, this one's on Blur. It will look at the different marketplaces out there and give you the results. So I see that happening. Another interesting thing that happens with NFTs is POAPs. So a proof of attendance protocol is a POAP. And so if you go to a workshop, or if you go somewhere that you participate in, or even online, sometimes you participate with an AMA of some sort, then they will give you a code. You can go, you redeem that code, and you get this little badge, this little sticker saying that you participated in something or were at something. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you, because it's an NFT. It means you could sell it or trade it, unless they make them soul bound. Soul bound means it is stuck to your account. So you've verified who you are, you verified your account, and then you go to some workshop, and then you can say, hey, I've been to this workshop because only I have control of this. It's an idea. It's out there. It's an interesting use case. A neat one that's recently happened is Starbucks. So Starbucks has its Odyssey. So this is in the US. I don't have access to here in Canada, but basically you buy or sell or do various little missions or tasks that they would have you do within the app. And then you can earn stickers. So you get a holiday sticker or something like that. And they're doing it on the Polygon chain, which is interesting that they didn't do some sort of closed chain or private chain. So I'm actually excited that they did it on a chain like Polygon. And yeah, so you can earn these stickers, and you can sell it. Like they were selling them for like $900 or whatever. So people would go, they'd buy a few drinks, they'd do the little challenge, and sell their original stickers. I mean, lots of collectible things out there. Of course, video games. I mean, if you take a look at EVE Online or World of Warcraft, these kind of games that have very well established in-game economies, and they have extractors. They have people that are playing and doing sort of that shadow market. It's against the terms of service, but still, this is the future of Web3 for sure. Gaming and Web3. I know there's a lot of haters against it, and they get all upset, and they feel like, the scams and the exploitation, the extracting. Here's the thing: it's already happening. People are getting scammed. Exploitation and extracting is already happening. So we have a technology, and I mean without using the technology in the traditional environments. So we have a technology that is fully transparent. So you can see on chain who's done what, where things have gone, who's transferred to what. Like it's fully visible in a public ledger. So even though scams and whatnot are happening, it's visible to all. And consequently, then it can be shut down and more controlled. So in time, we're going to see better tools for stopping the bots, for stopping the scammers. And we're going to see it become more and more hidden in the background, that players are just going to accept and demand that they own their rewards they got from collecting whatever, that they own their assets, that they get a cut of the financial transactions that are happening. Coca-Cola did a collectibles too. I don't understand. This one I don't understand is they did a limited number. So if you have a brand and you're trying to spread that brand, why would you limit it to like only 10,000 NFTs? I mean, the bots are going to come and they're going to take them all, and then your fans and the people that wanted to have your image get nothing. Like, this is a digital environment. You can make an infinite amount available. Make it time-based. Anyone that comes in on Friend Day or whatever gets themselves a free Coca-Cola memorable item. It was so strange that they had a limited number in their collection as opposed to a time-based one. But anyways, so creating collectibles, digital identities, the NBA. I mean, this is like you get your Top Shot card, and anyone that holds that NFT has access to backstage interviews or passes or whatever. The sports collecting, it goes hand in hand. FIFA with the Artificial Intelligence League, that was a lot of fun. Participated in that. ASM Brains, that's an artificial intelligence gaming things coming out, and they combined. So some neat things happening there. Puma, of course, they're one of the more aggressive Web3 companies. This was an interesting one. So the Australian Open, they joined Web3 and with this project. So this ball, so you get all these different balls, and the balls are numbered like as it goes to the Open, and then some of them end up being really famous moments in the tennis history. And if you own that digital ball, then you have preserved that memory. But also these certain ones get selected for different things. They give you free tickets to the next Open. This is mainly for Australians right now. So I like that one. Here's another one. My daughter, she was selected by our local insurance company, have a little thing stuck in her car, and it would track all of the way where she drove, how much she drove, how much she accelerated, how much she braked, these kind of things. And a lot of people in the area were selected, and then she was given like gift cards to local stores and whatever in exchange for her data. It just goes to show you that your data has value. Google uses it to track you, to know where there's traffic jams, so then they can communicate to other people what routes to avoid. I mean, the list goes on and on. Facebook for advertising. So your data has value. And so if you have, for example, here's a new one that's coming out. I just started reading about it, the Demo app. Anyways, you can somehow collect a lot of data from the drivers. You can also like rent out your car and collect other data. I don't fully get how it all works. But anyways, all this data has value, and then you get value for your data as opposed to big companies. So Visa, of course, is getting heavily involved in blockchain technology, not so much the NFT sides of things. Governments are. Now, there's good and bad what comes with that. Digital currencies from governments means that they can give it to exact areas. They can give you programmable money. You live in this area that something's happened. They give everyone in that area $1,000 they have to spend within a certain amount of time. Otherwise, it expires. That will stimulate the economy of that specific area. They don't need to go through all the banks. They can go right to the citizens. That's great. Lots of good uses that would make things much more efficient. It's also bad because now I can have a social score for different areas or different individuals, and you get more, you get less, you can't do transactions. Digital currencies are coming, good and bad. I think we need to get ahead of the conversations that we need to establish. I know I've been reading on my country's rules as they go ahead with digital currencies and whatnot, and I'm particularly interested about the right to transact. Commercial companies have to have a connection to a bank, and their finances have to go through a bank. So that's something I'm leaning more towards. I would like to see the right to transact to be preserved in whichever currency I want. But regardless, the privacy. And when I look at the privacy rules right now of central bank digital currencies, they're saying, at least for the most part, the right things. So anyways, I'm soapboxing there. So lots of use cases for NFTs and for blockchain technology. Eventually, it'll be in the background. You won't even really notice it. Kind of like TCP protocols for the internet and whatever. I don't even know if I said the right letters there, but there's early protocols for the early internet that we're still using today, but you're not even aware of it. I'm not even really aware of it. It's just back-end stuff. And eventually, this whole use of NFTs and blockchain and things being public will just be the way it is. There's definitely scams here, though. So because of these fees that you pay and the gas in order to buy and sell, you'll be offered over-the-counter trades. Someone will say, "Hey, I want to trade you this, or I want to buy this from you, and I'll give you this straight, and you send it straight to me." Dangerous thing to do. I was scammed by that once. I was making some trades with someone. I sent them a little bit of ETH. They sent me an NFT. And so we did it a couple times. And then they said that they sent me one. It didn't arrive. It was waiting. Everyone was going to bed. I was feeling in a hurry, but I really wanted to make this trade. And so I'm like, okay, here, I'll just send the rest to you. You send the funds to me. I'll see it in the morning. He's like, no problem. I get up in the morning. Guy's gone. Everything's disappeared. I didn't receive any of the funds. Now, fortunately, their Discord ID was tied to their Facebook, and I was able to connect to like their friends and their dad. I was able to like leave phone numbers at their dad's business and stuff like that. And it didn't take long. And Will returned and said, "Hey man, I totally made a mistake. I saw an opportunity to do something I shouldn't do, and I took the money and ran. And here's your funds. I give it back." But he never would have done it if I hadn't had found that access to him. And I do think they were scamming lots of other people too, just from looking at their wallet activity, because it's all transparent. So you need to use an escrow. You need to find someone that you trust. You need to be getting into those communities where you spend time getting to know people, build a network that can help each other so you make wise decisions and don't get scammed. But yeah, that's a key concept. Either way, NFTs, NFT marketplaces, once you've gone down the rabbit hole, you're bound to end up wanting to get a profile picture or play in a particular game or something, or not. Maybe you'll just keep stacking those coins, whatever coin of choice, and just hodl to zero or hodl to a million, whatever comes first, eh? Alrighty. I hope that was a little bit helpful. Again, tag me on Twitter, send a message below if you want me to go deeper into certain concepts or certain things. But overall, this little video series is meant to be just a general introduction to the basics. I'm going to do one more video on the news and how to get information, and then that'll wrap up this series. So I hope it's been helpful. And as always, keep track of your towels and don't panic.